Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much, Mary Lou Basaraba, our choir director, for allowing us to enter this holy space with holy music. Friends, this is the last Shabbat of 5780. Next Friday evening, we join together for Rosh Hashanah. We really hope that all of you can be with us. It's not virtual, it's very real, even though it's online. But this is our last opportunity in this Jewish calendar year to be together, to pray together, and to say goodbye to a year that has been one of the most difficult, at least in my generation. And so Shabbat is a time for us to gather, to pray, to be, and to reflect. The second Friday of the month has classically been for Temple Akiba, our choir service. And so we have many members of our choir joining us today to help fill our souls. Think about that for a moment, to fill our souls. I filled up my car with gasoline earlier in the week. And I thought, wouldn't it be easy if I could just stop somewhere and fill up my soul? Well, it is easy. We have it built into Judaism. Every single Shabbos, it's there. And we just have to, as the sage taught us, we have to use the force. It's always there. We're going to open with the singing of Hine Matov, how wonderful it is to be together as a community. And Randy Murphy will be leading us.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Thank you so much, Randy. So beautiful to hear your soaring voice. Lighting our Shabbat candles tonight is Meg Clements, followed by our Kiddush with Jean Gaska. Meg, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you so much, Meg. That was so beautiful. Jean will continue with the Kiddush for Shabbat. We invite all who are able to please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon, hinkilanu, zikaron lama'aseh, v'reishit. Ki hu yom tehillah, l'mikra kodesh, zeher litziat mitzrayim. Ki banu baharta, beotanu kidashta, omikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashat.
L'chaim, Jean, thank you so much. And I really, actually, I want to say I loved the beautiful mug that you used that added some freshness and some delight to Shabbat. So thank you. Please be seated, everyone. What an honor it is to invite now, on behalf of our Board of Trustees, Jerry Weiner, who is here to offer a welcome and also a very special Rosh Hashanah greeting. Jerry, Shabbat Shalom.
Quiet. Little pre-Rosh Hashanah shofar blasting. My name is Jerry Weiner. I'm the House and Grounds Trustee for Temple Akiba, and I would love to welcome everyone here for Shabbat services tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I have a few announcements. Tomorrow morning at 9, we're going to have our Torah study. So if you go onto the website, you'll be able to access that through the website. Also, Slichot is going to be beginning 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. That one you do have to register for. And then on Monday, starting Monday, Lunch and Learn is going to be resuming. And you go to the website and that will be at noon. It goes for 1 hour. And that's always a very good thing to do. And then Erev Rosh Hashanah, the Seder is next Friday night at 6, and you need to register for that as well. And those are the announcements for tonight. But we'd like to thank Claire for greeting everyone in the waiting room tonight. And we'd love to also thank the choir members for their participation tonight in the service, as well as Mary Lou Basaraba, who is our choir director. So thank you, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Jerry. And one of the people you mentioned, and Carol, maybe you can highlight her, is Claire Ostrich. Claire is one of the is a member of one of the families in our congregation, and her bat mitzvah is coming up. And as part of the requirement for earning the Golden Chai Award, we ask that our young people become greeters at our Shabbat services. Claire, can you tell everyone when your bat mitzvah is?
My bat mitzvah is November 21st.
Wonderful. We're so glad you're here, and it makes such a difference that you're welcoming us and making us feel a little bit more a part of an extended family. So Shabbat Shalom to you and your sister Naomi and your wonderful parents. Kendra-Lani.
Yes, Rabbi.
You are up.
Lachado D. And did I freeze for a second? All right, there we go. Okay, great. So our next prayer is the Lachado D, And we are going to ask, I'm going to do a couple of verses, and on the last verse, we ask for all who are able to please rise and face any entrance in your house to welcome the Sabbath bride. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala penei penei Shabbat nekabela lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala penei penei Shabbat nekabela la la lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala penei penei Shabbat nekabela lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala penei penei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Ishmi'anu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet v'liti la 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 L'chad dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor haberacha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila la 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 Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela. We ask for all to rise and face an entrance to greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha v'tzola Toch emoni am segula Boi chala Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela la la Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala Penei penei Shabbat nekabela. And we turn next to the Chatzi Kaddish, which essentially is like our bookmark prayer. So this lets us know that one section of our service is ending and we are now entering into a new section of our service. So we just finished our preliminary prayers, our Kabbalat Shabbat section, and now we are entering into the section of Shema u'virchotecha, which essentially means Shema and its blessings or Shema and her blessings. So we begin with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yikada ve'yitkada shemei Rabbah be'almadi rachirute ve'amlich malchute b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayedecho beit Yisrael bagala bagala u'vizman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ul'amei amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran be'ama v'imeru. Amen.
Our formal call to worship is the Baruch Hu, and we ask once again all who are able to please rise. Daisy Santos will be leading us in this prayer. We face east.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, la, lai, lai, la, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, la, lai, lai, la, lai, lai. Lai, 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 la, lai, 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 la, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 la, lai, 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 la, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Barahu et Adonai hamevola. Barahu et Adonai hamevola. Baruch Adonai hamevola le'olam ha'ed. Lai, 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 la, lai, 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 la, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, la, lai, lai, la, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, la, lai, lai, la, lai, lai.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Jean continues with the singing of the Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Ba'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Thank you so much, Jean. Please be seated, everyone, if you're still standing. We continue with the chanting of the V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukeshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. I want to offer a translation of the V'ahavta that is from our prayer book. It's not an exact translation, but this is a spiritual translation. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them. Whether you're tired or you are rested, let them guide the works of your hands. Keep them on the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside of your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. We continue now with the Micha Mocha.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Thank you so much, Cantor. I love that that version, that melody, Micha Mocha. We're going to now continue with the Amidah, and we invite all who are able once again to please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofe cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take a moment now to look deep inside as we enter a moment of silent meditation. There are times that holding a baby allows us to see the world through their eyes, to feel the world through their hands, and to understand what creation is all about. We also get incredible strength from our children. And it's at this time in our service that we need this strength, because there are those in our community and beyond who are sick, whether it's physical or emotional or mental healing. There are many who we're thinking of who could use added prayers. So we're going to offer the Misha Berach. And as we listen to the words, please feel free to share in the chat box those for whom you are offering a special prayer of healing. Hello, Eli. Hi, Ron. Hello. And then we'll pray together, not only for them, but for those who are caring for them. Misha Berach.
Misha Barak, Avotenu, Nichor Abraham, Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, Imotenu, Nichor Abraham, Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with a full Shalema, the renewal of the body, the renewal of the spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Delicia, that was so extraordinary. Your prayer, I believe, just touched the souls of people around the world. Thank you for adding that gift, a real gift to all of us.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All right, Eli, good night. Maya, I'll hold on to a little bit. Thanks, Alva. Unless, do you want to get both of them?
Please.
Can you do this?
I don't need to go take weightlifting classes anymore.
Hold on, everyone. All right, Maya Ruth. Got her, Abba?
I got her.
All right.
Oh. Please. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Oh. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There are many numbers in Judaism that have special significance. The number 3, God, Torah, Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Those come in 3s. The number 4, everything having to do with Passover, the 4 questions, the 4 children, the 4 cups of juice or wine. The number 7 is important in Judaism. Of course, we have Shabbat on the 7th day. We have Shiva, the 7 days of mourning, everything having to do with a week. 18, of course, is important, Chai, and then multiples of 18. 36 is special, it's double Chai, we call it Lamed Vav. And it's said that in every generation, there are 36 Lamed Vavniks, 36 thoroughly righteous people. And it's based on those 36 that the world is sustained. I bet we've all met one of those 36. Whenever you meet someone who's just so thoroughly good and brings that kind of sunshine wherever she or he goes, that's a Lamed Vavnik. But there's one very Jewish number that doesn't come up all that often, and that is the number 19. Now, there's something known as the Metonic cycle that is an integral part of Judaism having to do with our calendar. And I'll show you why this has to do with 19. You see, we often remember and think that Judaism follows specifically the lunar cycle, the way we count our months. But if you think about it, we also have to ensure that our seasons occur at their proper time according to the solar calendar. The lunar calendar is only 354 days long, compared to the solar calendar of roughly 365, with the leap year on, of course, it's 366. Now, if Judaism were purely a lunar calendar, then Passover, for example, a harvest festival, would soon find itself in the middle of the winter, because again, the solar calendar is 2 weeks longer than the lunar. To compensate for this, every 2 to 3 years, we get an extra month right before Purim. And that gets us more or less back on track. Now, this explains why in some years Rosh Hashanah is early, like by 10 days or 2 weeks, and sometimes it's late. Though I have to admit, as I often share in my bad rabbi humor, that Rosh Hashanah always begins at the same time on the first of the Hebrew month of Tishrei. Always the first of Tishrei. But again, in the solar calendar, it shifts a little bit. Islam follows a purely lunar calendar, which explains why Ramadan moves around through the solar year. Every year, it's about 10 days earlier. But back to Judaism. Even with that added month every 2 or 3 years, there are still variables. And the number of days in a given Hebrew month might be 29 days one year and 30 days another year. It's quite confusing. And I'm amazed that this was all figured out and codified by Maimonides in the 12th century, and rabbis 1,000 years before him began to understand it in its beginnings. Well, the bottom line that Maimonides figured out was that this entire convoluted cycle of a leap month every 2 to 3 years gets the calendar back on track every 19 years. And that is the Metonic cycle, a 19-year cycle. Now, I don't want to go too deeply into the calculations of how it's all figured out, but I will share this. The calendar prohibits that Yom Kippur will ever begin on a Thursday night or a Saturday night. While it can begin on Friday night, overlapping with Shabbat, it can't begin on a Thursday night and end on Friday night, and it can't begin on Saturday night and end on Sunday night. Why? Because if that happened, we would be in a position where we could not properly prepare for Shabbat if Yom Kippur begins on Thursday night, or we couldn't properly prepare for Yom Kippur if Yom Kippur began on Saturday night after Shabbat. The entire complexity of the calendar is really based on that. Okay, deep breath, everyone. Why am I focusing all this time on the 19-year cycle. Today, of course, is the 19th anniversary of those horrible attacks on September 11th, 2001. Those who were old enough to remember that horrible date, you all remember exactly where you were, who you were with, and how you felt the moment that you learned about those attacks. September 11th forever changed our lives. Our world has gone now through a complete 19-year cycle of time since that day. It doesn't mean that the memories are erased, but it can offer us an understanding that there are many ways to measure our days, and they don't all fit into neat one-year cycles. Sometimes a one-year marking just isn't enough to say, I got through it. I'm reminded of a colleague of mine, a rabbi, who lived through the unthinkable. He lost a child, and he could not bring himself to put up a marker on the first yard site or at the 11-month point when tradition tells us you're supposed to. And who can blame him? Losing a child is just too much to absorb. And he said, you know what? I'll wait till the next year. 2 years went by, and 3 years, 5 years. It took over 20 years for him to be able to put up that marker. Sometimes 1 year just is not enough. As a nation, absorbing 9/11 is just too much, and we can't do it in 1 year. And in truth, even 19 years, even that full cycle doesn't make everything right. Now, I did a little research, to ensure my accuracy on everything. Today in our calendar was the 22nd of Elul. And so I thought if this 19-year cycle is accurate, that September 11th, 2001 would have been the 19th, but it wasn't. Even with this accurate calendar, we're still a day off. September 11th, 2001 was the 23rd of Elul. So I dove a little further and I learned that it often takes 3 to 4 19-year cycles for our calendar to fully sync. It's amazing what these rabbis thousands of years ago were able to come up with. Another deep breath. Friends, our tradition teaches that we measure our days in cycles. And whether it's a year or 7 years or 19 years or longer, we acknowledge the passage of time with perspective and with reflection. There are those here today who are culminating a 19-year cycle. Perhaps it's a 38th reunion from high school or college, or a 57th wedding anniversary, or a 76th birthday. It's a significant time. And on this 19th yard site of 9/11, we have come one full circle, but there may be more full circles. We still have a long way to go to harness peace and goodness into our world. Friends, we don't look at these cycles arbitrarily. We really do take them as markers to mark our days. I can't begin to imagine that 19 years has already passed. But knowing that it coincides with a larger marking within Jewish understanding, it doesn't erase the memories, but it does give me an embrace that I'm not alone, that I can think about this in a deeply Jewish way. Friends, as we go out and face the world, we complete what we need to complete by bringing goodness into it and by eradicating hatred with every heartbeat, with every soul print, and with every smile. King Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Together we say, Amen. We are going to continue now with our Aleinu. We invite those who are able to please rise and to face east.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kugei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umarim lifnei melech mochi hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. As we prepare for Kadisha, Tom the Mourner's Kaddish, first we invite all to be seated. I offer the following poem. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the brightest and the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember now friends and family of our community who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal resting spaces. We begin with those for whom we are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, including Robert Fox, and Naomi and Nikki Gold. If there are those in our community who are observing Shloshim, the first 30 days, we ask that you please place their name either in our chat box on Zoom or on YouTube. We also remember this time the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. We begin with those who have plaques in our Sue and Jerry Erfrig Memorial Room. Herman Carr, Bernice Cooper Smith, Samuel Hyman, Zachary Miller, Herbert Sylvan Rosenfeld, Sam Saltzman, Sophia Zebrak, Bernard Zimmern, William Zimmerman. We also remember Eddie Bauer, Anita Duren, Sarah Feller, Richard Goldstein, Irving Helfand, Harry Jass, Betty Clapman, Bernard Eric Noble, Hai Kravith, Rose Kulinski, Harvey Levenberg, Greta Nussbaum, Julius Pizer, Elaine E. Ryback, Gertrude Schneider, Stephen Serlin, Molly Stein, Beatrice Troop, Ruben Vodovos, and Harold Zinkow. May their memories guide us with light and with goodness always. We invite all who are able to rise for Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. B'yamad divrach rotei b'yamnich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon. Uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. B'agalau v'yizman kariv imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam u'amei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach. V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemei d'kudasha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. Before we close with Oseh Shalom, we're going to invite all who are here in Zoom to please stick around after the service is finished. We're going to close our YouTube live, and so that we can just be here with each other. I wanted to acknowledge first, behind the scenes, as always, is Carol Diamond, who is our Zoom master, who has been helping with everything from beginning to end to make sure that since we've been in these electronic services, that we feel connected, that we feel embraced, and that there's nothing virtual about this. So Carol, thank you so very much. And Carol also is our mastermind with this, behind getting our holy days up and running. So Carol, we very much appreciate it. Cantor.
So we are closing with Oseh Shalom, and this has a lot of hand clapping. I'll be playing so I can't clap, but maybe Rabbi can lead us in the hand clapping throughout. And we want to see all of those hands clapping and hope that you sing along with me at home. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh
So Carol Diamond, if we can keep this on gallery view, I think, Kendra, do we have a challah again?
Of course, as always, my daughters and my mother-in-law helped to bake our challah tonight. So we have kind of what has become the usual, white chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips, some cinnamon, and some sprinkles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to teach Maya and Eli to bake like that. Okay, everyone, put your hands toward the camera so we can all feel the love.
Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'tei avon.
I can feel that challah. I can take it. Wow. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.